Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ultimus, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. Rather than taking a look at the artifact trees attached to each class or spec, I want to take a look at the Arms Warrior weapon. Now we have these up on WoWhead. Attached to each of the artifact weapons, as you can see here, we're on the Arms Warrior page. There's still no talents there. However, we can click over and look at appearances. And you can do this with all of the weapons. So I figured it'd be fun to take a look first and foremost at the Arms Warrior and see the different skins and colors that we know for a fact we're going to have immediately in the game, have access to, and then of course if there's any more that will be added later on, that's yet to be determined. I can't imagine there wouldn't be attached to achievements and things like that, but thought it'd be fun to take a look at it now and get a feel for what these look like. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Stormcar the Warbreaker. It's the name of the artifact weapon for Arms Warriors. There's definitely a weird surge of mixed emotions about this one from warriors all over, from disappointment and excitement to feeling a little bit left down. Maybe they feel like it's a little lackluster. I'm kind of in between on it. I don't hate it, but I don't necessarily love it either. However, there's a couple of the skins that I absolutely... So, that alone I think is cool, in the fact that, again, we have those different options. As always, going to be a good thing. Especially for matching transmog. That's a big deal. Also, I think as long as the animations on these weapons are good, I think it should help kind of ease the burn and the terrified feeling of anything new players get. It's so funny. People are funny to me. They scream and cry for new content, and then as soon as anything changes, they freak out because they want it the old way. And it's the same way with life in general, but MMO players and WoW players are funny. But, so we're looking at the very first version of it here. If I'm not mistaken, this is the form of it you're going to get whenever you finish your quest, whatever that looks like in-game. We don't have any other information on that. It's interesting to me that Arms is being kept under wraps as tightly as it is. I almost expected Fury to be not so polished out, but apparently they've had like all their time put into Fury, and so I don't know if there's something they're trying to keep under wraps for Arms lore-wise, or they're just giving it extra attention because they know it needs it. Who knows? But that's not what we're here to talk about. See, I'm going to be rambling this whole video. Let's go ahead and keep going before I distract myself. So looking at the next color here on this one, we got the green skin on that, which looks kind of cool. It looks very fell-touched, even though that isn't the fell-touched version of it. No, this has the sky-touched version of it, which is kind of cool. The purple version, which I could see going very well with the Dragon Soul stuff. Yeah, that's kind of cool. We went full screen. Let's exit out of that. There we go. That was weird. But yeah, I could see this weapon going very well with the Dragon Soul armor set, the heroic one, which would be nifty, I think. And then, of course, last but not least, we have the yellow. And I'm curious to see what the effect around all this is going to be. We're seeing lightning and anything like that, but I don't know how big or engulfing that's going to be around the weapon. Is it going to be subtle? Is it going to be massive? Is it still going to persist in combat, which I know can be... It's something that's definitely concerning for players, especially because now there's a lot of stuff that kind of stops during combat in World of Warcraft. And so I'll be curious to see what these look like in combat, especially with the new weapon animations and combat animations for Melee, I think. Let's go take at Stormcar the Warbreaker. So this is... And again, I don't know for a fact if this is the baseline version that you get once you first get your artifact weapon. I'm just assuming since it's on the top, so if I'm completely wrong, please forgive me. But we're just going to kind of go in order and take a look at these. So if you want to take a look here, which is kind of cool, on the hilt, we're looking at some more details there on that one. Got the gem there in the center. Is there stuff swirling in that gem? It looks like it. Oh, that's kind of cool. There's like liquid in there. I dig it. Got the hooks on there and everything. I just hope the weapon is big, because if this is supposed to be a two-handed sword, it needs to be massive. We got the next one over here, which is the green, more of a fell-touch looking version. And then, not sure, more of a purple, I suppose, even though it looks like it would be pink. It's more of a purple, so we're getting the same effect, just with a purple color. Overall, I honestly like the look of this skin so far. I mean, I think it's clean, but it still looks kind of brutal enough to where it's actually going to do some damage. I'm still very, very happy as an Arms Warrior that we're getting swords and not a mace. I was a little concerned about that, but I've mentioned all that before. So I'm still elated that it is a sword, I'm not going to lie. And then we have the deep red version, which I think out of all the skins, That blue and that green and that red here are definitely my favorite. The green's pretty cool too. I just don't have very many weapon or armor sets that would match well with that. It's very fell looking, which is very appropriate for Legion, so that's kind of cool, depending on obviously what the gear is going to look like for Warriors. But that blue with the gold on there, and then just the deep red, I think I just like a lot. Red just is very iconic and very quintessential for Warriors. Like, I feel like if you're going to go for a good transmog for a Warrior, you can't go wrong with red. Red swords, red armor, all that good stuff, red glow on your weapon. So, then we're looking at the Unleashed skin. You know, now that I'm looking at it, honestly, I'm thinking this is the baseline skin of it, and then Sky Touched is one of the skins, and then we're looking at Stormcar, the Warbreaker Unleashed, which is another skin. And I'm curious if this one isn't going to be attached to rating achievements. I'm hoping not, because this looks really cool. Obviously, it looks, I mean, in my opinion, at least, it looks even cooler than the last one, which obviously is the intent and purpose. But I just like the, we're going full screen again, that's cool. So, oh, see, look at that, that's kind of cool. You even got the crystals circling around it there, because that thing in the center busted. Ah, I get it. It's unleashed. See, get it? That's kind of cool. Whatever's in there in the center, it's like a heart. This sword is a heart. It's pulsating in the center there. No, I know there's like all lore bits behind it, so it makes sense. And the people were kind of upset about the lore behind it too. A warrior weapon drinking souls and things like that. It seemed kind of Death Knighty, but I still feel like it's appropriate for Legion personally. But I like the gold plating on the top there with the hook. It looks kind of sweet. And I just really do like that hilt work they got going on back there, which is pretty sick. Still same basic feel for the hilt, but I like those crystals floating around the outside there again, because if you're looking that thing in the center, no crystals there. It's all busted open, so pretty cool. Let's take a look at the green version. So same exact feel, just busted up, purple, green, again very fell looking, which is appropriate if you're looking for that sort of color. We got that deep purple there as well, which almost looks like a pink in some ways, but it looks very, it reminds me very much of like the Draenei or the Naru, stuff like that. I feel like it would go very good with like a Draenei warrior, depending on what gear you're rocking or what transmog you're pulling off. So that's kind of cool. And then last but not least, the same deep red, which I personally think is, again, the coolest looking one out of this skin personally. Just that deep red for warrior weapons, I just think is very fitting and very quintessential. It speaks of just anger and rage and just absolute just power, raw power. So I just think it's cool. It reminds me a little bit of Ashkandi as well. Ashkandi, sorry I said that wrong. One of the most quintessential warrior weapons of all time. And I totally screwed up the name. But like just in design overall and like feel for it, it reminds me a little bit of Ashkandi. Not entirely, like I wouldn't say it's a direct ripoff, but it has that same vibe going for it, I feel. Maybe it's just the colors though. Let's go and take a look at the Flame Reaper. Flame Reaper, definitely getting a Kingdom Hearts Keyblade vibe here from this one, I'm not going to lie. That's the first thing I thought when I first saw the weapon. I was like, oh dang, we're getting some Kingdom Hearts stuff going on here. Got the pulsating effect there, energy going on in the center. It's almost like they wrapped a Keyblade around a lightsaber and said, here you go, warriors. Not complaining. Not complaining. Let's go take a look at the, I believe this would be a red. Yeah, we'll just say red. So I'm liking the detail just on the weapon itself. If you look at like some of the inlays on the blade, I just think it's kind of cool. And just getting the blade down there towards the hilt as well. So it's just all one death-dealing, head-chopping, massacring weapon of death. And then we got, I guess it's to be more like a purple again, but not quite, because I mean, you look at the other purples as well. I don't even know what to call this color, whatever. It's peach. It's salmon. We got the salmon weapon. And then over here we have the orange, which honestly, out of all of the colors for it, I think looks the cleanest. These other colors are good, I do like them, but I just feel like this one, the orange and the red here, just feel the cleanest and most appropriate with the weapon itself. Looks really cool, it looks very clean, very well polished, I think, so pretty nifty. And then next we're going to take a look at the Wrathblade, which is the last one here, and it looks very much like Tier 2 warrior stuff. I mean, it would go perfect with it. It literally looks like it was inspired by the Tier 2 warrior set from Blackwing Lair. Wrathblade is an appropriate name. That blue skin is really cool as well, I'm not going to lie. The green is also kind of cool. The green, although, makes it just look like a Death Knight weapon, though, I think. Any of the green skins on these weapons make them look very Death Knight-ish. Which isn't bad, I guess. It just feels, I don't know. I feel like they could have picked maybe a better color for it. But again, at the same time, I completely understand why, because we're going in. Burning Legion, Fel stuff, it's important to have all those green colors. So there's that. Getting that purple on there, which again feels very Death Knight-y, but it could also work with warrior sets as well. I'm immediately thinking of the Dragon Soul 25-man heroic set particularly. So it'll also work with the warrior tier 2 Wrath set. So there's that. And I can't think of any other purple sets really that are like actual sets. I know we have the Judgment lookalike set that would work with it. But I don't see too many warriors rocking that set. Usually it's the Death Knights that want the Judgment lookalike. So, but it's not a terrible skin either. I just feel like purple is not my go-to color for warriors typically. And then lastly we have I'm pretty sure that's bug. That's not supposed to be that color. That's unfortunate. Well, whatever this is supposed to be. I'm assuming it's more similar to that color. So imagine this color on that weapon, and we'll call it a day. Cool. No. So that's kind of cool. Pretty spiffy. I'm definitely liking the Unleashed version. I want to know what the PvP skin's going to look like, though. We don't have that here, I don't think. Unless we do and I'm mistaken, which is fine. Because I think all the PvP ones are named Fel Touched, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, if I remember correctly, all the Fel Touch stuff was the PvP ones. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and while we're here, because we still got a couple minutes left, let's take like a Fury. Let's just do warriors in this whole video. We'll just do it. We're not gonna even break them up into classes. Let's just keep going. So, War Swords of the Valajar is the first skin here on it. And that alone, right there, just the baseline skin, I think, for this weapon is awesome looking. I like the hooks on the end of it. I like the design work on the back end of the sword. I think the hilt looks pretty sweet. Like, if I was going to dual-wield weapons, it would be something pretty similar to that. Because if you even look on the front end here, it almost looks like a dragon there. If you got the beady eye and the jaw and stuff like that. Like, I'm honestly very happy with Fury weapons. I really am. I'm looking forward to getting in game and getting these bad boys and walking around with them on my warrior. I think, depending on how the playstyle and everything goes like this, I can honestly see it being a very hard choice this expansion, choosing between Fury and Arms. That might be just because we haven't really gotten much of a look at Arms yet, so that could be affecting my decision. But just looking at how much I love Arms as a spec just in general, and then how good Fury's looking, though, it seems like I might have a hard time deciding what spec to play. So, and these weapons aren't making it any easier. Take a look. Oh, see, even that just looks like a brooding dragon's wrath with all the purple and the red and the full screen because I'm an idiot. But just like that glow effect on there, looks like there's already blood attached to it, and just the hilt work. These swords are cool. I'm very happy with the Fury weapons. I'm not even gonna try to play it cool. Even the purple looks cool. Again, typically not my go-to color for warriors, but it doesn't look bad. Just, I think deep colors on this, and even, ooh, that green's kind of cool too. See, normally I don't really like green either, but that doesn't look bad. Weird. It's like a Storm Breath. So again, we're looking at kind of a dragon feel there at the nose and tip of it. Less of a hook there as opposed to the War Swords of the Valajar. But then you're looking at more of a pointed angle there. Still some pretty sweet hilt work along with the armor there on the back end of the sword. I'm curious how big these are going to look actually in game when you spec Titan's Grip. I think that'll be interesting to see how that's going to work out. I hope they're massive. Like they've just... Okay, maybe not massive, but I hope they're big. Bigger than one-handers, obviously. Oh, see, that's kind of cool too. Just the heavy green and the purple there. That's pretty sick. Definitely a fail feeling for sure. How about that orange? Oh, that's kind of cool. It's almost like a black and a red combo with a little bit of green in there. See, all these colors feel like they work really well with this weapon. See, that's cool too. In all honesty, this one I think is my favorite. I just like that deep red. It almost looks like blood flowing through the sword and just sitting in the center there. But I'm curious what the animation effect is going to be, if it's going to be like a lightning or thing. And I probably should just watch somebody's YouTube video on it, but I'm trying not to spoil too much of it for myself. I want to actually experience it for the first time when I get Legion, whether it's alpha, beta, or the actual game itself. Let's take a look at the War Swords of the Valajar Empowered. Oh, dang. That's like fire-breathing dragon status. There's like flames coming out the side there. Oh, jeez. That just looks like epic warrior status right there. The green, that, oh, see that deep red. That green is pretty sick too, but just between the baseline color, that orange and gold, and just the deep red and almost that granite color with the blue hill. Ah, see, oh, this is killing my soul. I want it so bad. I want it. I need it. I need it. These are so cool looking. And I know there's always the hype of new stuff. Oh, it all looks cool. And then after we get into the game, it's like, it's okay. But this is, whoever designed these, I think did an excellent job from like concept to execution. Excellent job. Whoever at Blizzard is getting credit for these Fury Warrior weapons, give that man a Snickers bar or something because he deserves it. So we got Valor Maw. Oh, see that hook on there is even more pronounced. We got the hook there. We've got that there. It's a little, like the hook is just getting crazier. Well, then the next one's just going to be all the way down here. It's just going to be like a loop. It's just going to be the constant loop. Valor Maw's pretty sick looking, just with that gold plating and then that deep color there almost. I don't even know what to call that. I'm bad with colors. But pretty sick looking. Again, with the green and the purple, which is to be expected. Yeah. The purple there as well. So far, liking just that original color the most. That one's pretty cool too, but probably just the purple and that standard color there. I just like the silver, the gold, the yellow, and then maybe burgundy, auburn, cherrywood, rosewood. I don't know what finish that is in the back of there, but whatever it is, it's pretty. It's a lovely, whatever that is in the back of the sword. Jeez, let's look at Helia's gaze. Oh, see, look at that, even cooler. Oh my gosh, the work on the back there with like the hooks. Is that where you can like hang your sword up at the end of the night? That's pretty cool. Let's get the green. Even the green doesn't look bad. And again, normally I'm not a big fan of the green for my warrior. Purple's pretty cool as well. Come on, deep red. Come on, give me something. Oh, see, look at that. That's pretty sick. Between these two for sure, but that deep red is definitely winning. And then, of course, this time around, the hook just went the other way. I guess they couldn't loop the hook around any further. It almost looks like some For the Horde stuff going on here, though. I don't know if I can wield this as an Alliance player. I don't know. But most definitely, I feel like just the baseline and the empowered versions are my favorite. Storm Breath is really cool as well. Like, don't get me wrong. Storm Breath is really, really cool. But just the baseline War Swords and the empowered War Swords look sick. Especially when you get that deep red. Oh, man, that's just... Like, it's so clean and so brutal at the same time. Like, it just looks like a lot of thought and planning and time went into designing these weapons as a whole. So, I really, as someone who's looking forward to checking out Fury in the next expansion, I couldn't be happier. It's like that protection. Why the heck not? Except we're only getting the shield, which is unfortunate, but that's okay, because the shield looks dope. The shield itself almost makes me want to play prot, except I know it's not going to be viable in PvP, so it really won't matter. But just the, like, I'm wielding a weapon and a shield made out of a scale of Deathwing. That as a Deathwing lover and someone who appreciates Deathwing as being my favorite villain and antagonist in the Warcraft universe, like, this concept is cool. I was a little disappointed Arms of Fury didn't get something like, you know, Deathwing themed, but I guess I can't have it all, you know. The green fell there, pretty cool looking as well. That deep red though, it's just quintessential Deathwing colors. That deep red, those oranges, those flames, that lava color with the black, just amazing. Like this right here is gonna look sick with the Dragon Plate set from normal Dragon Soul. Like that's gonna look sick with that set. And this, of course, will just look great with the heroic set as well. Like not even. Again, I love how it's just called Deathwing too. Like it just Deathwing, cool. See, even this though looks really cool because it's not. It doesn't look like just a scale like you would typically expect a scale. Like it looks like a leathery skin scale. Like it actually looks like it just fell off Neltharion recently, and you picked it up and used it as a shield. So that's pretty cool. I see. I'm liking this green one though because it's not just all green. Like it's textured and it's contrasted well with other colors. That blue's not bad either. I don't think. I think so far that green is Just the standard one's good, but that green isn't bad either, just because I like the way it contrasts with that color. And then that purple there, which again looks pretty cool as well. Still enjoying the Deathwing skin the most out of these two so far. How about Empowered? Oh, that's kind of cool too. It's got some horns on it, and it's got like some woodwork there at the top almost, it looks like. Take a look at the green. See, again, that green isn't bad either because it's contrasted with that red, which I really do like. So that's nice change of pace, I suppose, from the... oh, no, I can't turn it. Why won't you let me turn it? I want to do this. Hopefully nobody's getting dizzy. Fine, be that way. But I like that color tone there, just the very subtle greens, not overpowering. I think that was the problem with some of the other ones. It was just all green. It was like, it's kind of hard to look at. The blue doesn't look bad. Not my favorite skin, or I guess the purple. I don't even know, whatever. Not my favorite skin for sure, but it doesn't look terrible either, I will say. That one probably my favorite out of all of them. The green and red really isn't bad at all. I do like it, but probably that red is my favorite. The yellow and the purples there on it, with the red crushed there in the center. Oh, we got the Sourfang one. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's actually named after Sourfang. See, that's kind of cool. Oh, we even got some cloth hanging from the back of it there, like a banner. Those spikes are ruthless. Holy cow. That's just a cool looking shield, though. Even the green there, see, it's just subtle enough to contrast with the purple and the almost a bone color there on the outside. So that's a good contrast, I think, between all. That's a cool looking shield. Oh, see, that's kind of cool. It looks just like Wrath, which makes sense because I think Sourfang had on the Wrath. Oh, not Wrath. Sorry, the Might. Sourfang had on the Might set, right? Like that was the set he had equipped throughout the game when you ran into his NPC. So that makes sense, which is really cool. This is going to be kind of cool, especially if like old school Prot Warriors like throwing them back to their golden days, tanking in vanilla with the Might set. So having a shield to match that transmog set will be really cool. So kudos there. And then we're getting the color here as well, which again isn't bad at all. But definitely that one taking the cake for me. That's cool. I like that a lot. Cool. Let's take a look at the Death Guard one now. Oh, heavy undead for sure. I mean, not that we're really surprised with the name like Death Guard, because I mean that's, you know, undead stuff for sure, but very cool looking shield. I like that a lot. Like undead warriors are gonna rock this one for sure. There's no way. Like I know the other ones are cool and all. Like don't get me wrong, but I feel like anyone who plays an undead warrior is for sure gonna like be rocking this shield because it's gonna match your character, like your race, like down to the very race, not just class but race. Like that's, you don't come across a lot of stuff like that where it actually fits with your race perfectly. Like I know we have some male gear that goes well with like trolls and stuff like that, but that's because it came from troll instances and raids, whereas, you know, stuff that looks very undead at its core is pretty spiffy. So kudos on that. That's, even the colors are very cool. Between that deep blue and the green is pretty sick, and then we got that red with the gold. See, oh, so cool looking. It doesn't like tempt me enough to play Prot because I know Prot isn't going to be viable in PvP, even though I know we'll have access to all three specs, so I probably will just goof around with it anyways. But see, these are some cool looking shields. I wish we got access to the sword, but beggars can't be choosers, I suppose, so we'll just be happy with what we got. But that's going to do it for this video, looking at all the different skins and such. So I guess to recap, we'll go over definitely digging just the standard Warbreaker or the Unleashed one. Definitely liking the deep red for those for sure. Keyblade wannabe thing, Flame Reaper isn't too bad either, but definitely Scrumcar, the Warbreaker, and Unleashed are top sellers in my book for sure. Just that red has got me hands down. Like even the standard color, but that red, I can't escape it. And then for Fury, definitely digging just the standard or the empowered one. The contrast between those gold colors and those reds and oranges just feels very quintessential warrior, which is important to me because I want a weapon that's going to match my spec and my play style. So having something that's feels intense and brutal is pretty cool. Even Storm Breath isn't bad either. I'm imagining we're going to see a lot of lightning coming up off of this one, is the feel I'm getting with the reflections going on there in the background bouncing off that aren't really showing up, because I'm sure they haven't been completely rendered out yet. And then hands down, favorite shield model is definitely the Deathwing one, but just the principle of Sourfang itself right here just is one of the coolest shield concepts I think they could have come up with. So those are my top favorites for all of the warrior artifact weapons. Let me know in the comment section if you have a favorite. If you hate them all, it's cool. You have the right to an opinion. I'll probably just disagree with you, and that's okay, because, hey, we're all different people, and we like different things. Hey. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We are wrapping up the giveaway this week on our PvP montage, Ultimus 4, looking at picking a winner and having that up by Christmas Eve, so the 24th. So if you haven't entered yet in for that giveaway, please do so. You can find the video on my channel. It is called Ultimus 4 Warlords Season 2 PvP montage. Go ahead and leave yourself a comment there on the video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you aren't already to be entered into the giveaway. And I will pull names for that soon. And then come Christmas Eve, there will be a video up announcing the winner. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.